Greetings and welcome to the Southside Help Center Show. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. And if you have any questions, please give us a call here at the station. This is a live call-in show. Our number here is 312-738-1060. If you have any questions about the programs that we're talking about, give us a call and we'll do our best to answer them. Once again, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. This is our second week of our 13-week cycle. So we thank you. We'll be on for the next 11, 12 weeks. We'll be on and we'll be talking about different programs and highlighting different programs that the Southside Help Center is providing in the community. So please tune in. Today's program, we're going to be talking about Safety Counts. Safety Counts is a program that we have at the center that deals with harm reduction. We're going to talk about what harm reduction is and be very specific so that people can understand that this is a necessary program and what we've been doing to perfect safety counts over the last 7 years. And this is a new cycle of funding that we received for this particular program. So we have had some successes. So we want, if you think this is a program that you may need, or if you think this is a program that someone in the family may need, please give us a call. If you do not give us a call here at the station, which is 312-738-1060, you can always call us at the office. The number there is 773-445-5445. If you do not want to ask your question on the air, you can give us a call back at the center, 773-445-5445, and you can reach me at extension 17. We're located 10420 South Halsted. That's 10420 South Halsted. We're open from 9 to 5 every day. So please come by, stop by, check out some of the programs. If you have youth, the summer programs are going on right now. If you haven't figured out what to do with them, I believe there's still some slots open. Bring them by. Speak with Mr. Marcus Fennell or Miss Erica Dawson, and they'll be able to help you and give you a little extra guidance as far as what to do with the kids for the summer, at least a block of that time. One of the things we talk about is structure and how so very important structure is. We do prevention and intervention. Prevention is what happens before the problem exists. So we like to try to prevent things from happening. And this is what our youth program does. It builds blocks and it puts pieces in place so that when our kids come upon these barriers, at least they'll have a sense of what direction to go into. So please get your kids involved into some programs. Let's do some prevention before we have to do the intervention. And that's what we're going to talk about today is the intervention. Let me make sure that everybody understands the difference. Prevention happens before a problem exists. That's the word, hence the word is prevent. It's to prevent something. So that's why we try to talk about drugs. We try to talk about unwanted pregnancies. We try to talk about the things and make sure that people are talking about condoms, condom usage. Make sure people are talking about abstinence. What does that really mean? How do you get your kids involved into programs that deal with sex education, the real sex education, because oftentimes we think it's just about condoms and it's not. It's always going to be about what you can do to prevent your child from making a bad decision. So be very, very careful and make sure that you get them involved in programs. And that's what prevention is. We prevent the problem before it actually happens. Intervention is something that comes along once there's a problem. Then we want to intervene. We want to come on in and find out what the issues are, what the concerns are, and what we can do. We don't want to be a part of a problem. We want to be a part of a solution. And that's what happens when an intervention is taking place. If you've seen the program on TV, is always after a problem exists and they come in and they intervene to try to save someone's life. And that's what we do at the Southside Help Center when we start talking about harm reduction. We start talking about programs like Safety Counts. Safety Counts is a science-based program. They came up with a science-based program. It was like in 02, 03. And what they did was they had quite a few substance abusers, and what they did was they worked with those substance abusers to see what steps they could take in order to get those individuals into a program that either kept them safe so that they would not contract HIV, until which time they made a decision to make changes in their lives. That's what harm reduction is. We want to keep people safe until they make a different decision about their lives. So when we start talking about harm reduction, needle programs, vital programs, you got to remember, needle programs are what they call exchange programs. If every time someone who's injecting drugs need to bring an old needle to get a new needle, that's harm reduction. Why? Because they won't discard those needles. They won't throw them where our youth can find them. They won't just put them in any old place. They'll be keeping them and turning them in so that they can be properly disposed of. And that's what harm reduction does. It reduces the risk across the board, and that's what Safety Count does. It's a program designed to do harm reduction for people who are actively using. That means people who are either doing heroin, they're either doing cocaine, they're doing alcohol, they're doing marijuana, and a combination of drugs, they're doing some sort of substance. So what we do is we say, look, this is what needs to happen until you make a decision to change your life. So that's why when they did the science-based program, we thought that it was a magnificent program, because oftentimes people think because an individual uses drugs that they're no good. And that's just not the truth. Drugs make people change. When they talk about it being a disease and a disease of addiction, it truly is. And it changes people and it takes over their lives. Those people, and most of us know, prior to the drugs were absolutely fabulous people. I mean, the behaviors, the things they did with their children, the things they did with their nieces and nephews and so forth, we knew them before the drugs. So they're still great people. We just have to remove that substance so that they can become who they truly are. In the meanwhile, we want them to stay HIV negative until which time, and that's what we talk about when Southside Helps in the Safety Counts program does harm reduction. And that's why this program is open to people who are actively using. What do you need to do to qualify? One, if you're actively using and you need some place to go, if you really want to get help, then and you don't know how that process is going to work or what that looks like. And a lot of times people want help but don't know what to do to get help. And the other thing about getting help is always I want to get clean, which is one of our biggest, what people most often want to do is get clean. Well, it's not always that simple. There's a lot of things in between that needs to happen, like identification of a program, making the necessary phone calls, dealing with some detox, dealing with support systems, and all of those pieces have to come into play when individuals are trying to get clean, because we know through recovery and relapse that it's not always easy for everyone. So we need to make sure that we have those pieces in place so that if something does not go the way that we intended for it to, that we'll have something in place as a backup plan, and that's what we talk about when we talk about safety counts and harm reduction. What happens is an individual who qualifies for the program, they come in, we meet every Thursday on 63rd and Ashland. We have collaborated with UIC. We truly thank them for allowing us to use their space and many of their staff and their expertise, so we truly appreciate UIC co-op program, which is located over on 63rd and Ashland. So thank you for allowing us to be a part of who you are and use your space as well. But you have to qualify for the program if you're actively using. You come in on Thursday. What happens is an enrollment takes place. That means an individual will be identified. We'll do some paperwork to talk about the behavior and what you actually want to do. The next thing is you'll go into a group. We have it take place group one and group two. So the first thing you'll do is you'll participate in two groups. What happens in those groups is risk identification. We look at what are you actually doing to put you at risk for HIV and other STDs, and what we can do to change or bring that risk down. That'll take place in workshop 1, workshop 2. The other thing we look at is we do goal planning. We do long and short-term goals. The long-term goal is what actually you would like for the outcome to be. And everybody thinks that most of our requests are for people to get clean. Some of the requests are not so cut and dry. Some people just want to not use as much until they can not use at all. That's very real for people who are actively using. So we're talking about harm reduction here. I don't want people to get confused as to what we're talking about. This is harm reduction. And Safety Counts is a harm reduction program where we're talking about until an individual makes a decision, we want you to stay safe. We want you to stay HIV negative. And the one thing that we know about HIV, it doesn't just affect the individual. It affects everybody in that individual's life. The children, the grandchildren, nieces, nephews, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers. So remember, when we start talking about harm reduction, we start talking about HIV, we're talking about the whole problem. We're not just talking about an individual's problem. We're talking about all of those sub-issues that come along with an individual being HIV positive, the stigma that comes along with that, the taking of medication that comes along with that. It's just more than about the individual. It's about those who love that individual as well. So do not be confused about the program that we're talking about. We're talking about harm reduction. So you're going to deal with two groups. Go into each of those groups, identify the risks, that are the things that you're doing that putting you at a greater risk for HIV. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into an individual counseling session. Now, this process takes place over 3 to 4 months. Over the first couple of months, you're going to go through this process, and then we also do some other steps, which the whole process lasts about 2 to 4 months. Okay, the first two is going to be those groups. It's going to be a weekly group. You come in this week, group 1. The next time you come, it's going to be group 2. Each time you're going to be talking about you. We're going to be talking about short-term goals, what we can do step by step to get you to where you actually want to be. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to have what is called an individual session. An individual session is where you have a one-on-one with the counselor or behavior specialist, but they're going to look at what you said. Again, it's all about what you want. It's not about what we want. We just want to make sure that we kind of help you navigate getting to where you want to be. Because remember, also, we're going to our individual, but I want you to tell you what the model is based off of. What is called the stages of change. It's based off what is called the stages of change model, where you got contemplation, pre-contemplation, you have action, and so forth. There are 5 stages to the stages of change. So what we look at is, what stage are you at? You know what I'm saying? Is you contemplating making a better decision about your life? Pre-contemplation, where you first you think about it, then you contemplate on it, and then you get into some action, and then you have to do some maintenance. So this talks about the stages of change model, which is what it was based on. Where are you right now? You know, that's the thing people have to remember when we start talking about harm reduction. We're trying to meet people where they're at, not where we would like for them to be, not where family would like for them to be, but where they're at. Because if you meet people where they're at, they're more likely to make the necessary changes to get where they would like to be. So that's why we meet them where they're at, and that's why it's based upon the stages of change model that deals with contemplation, pre-contemplation, action, maintenance, and so forth. So with that being said, once we get into that individual session, we can talk about where that individual is at based on what they've written over the last couple of weeks, based on their risk identification and so forth. Then the behavior specialist will sit down with them, and they can really map out step by step what would they like to do and how can we get to that point. And that's what the individual counseling session is going to look like. It's going to frame up what an individual actually wants to do. If you have any questions about the program, give us a call here at the station. The number is 312-738-1060. If you want to call us off air, our number is 773-445-5445. So please give us a call if you'd like to be a part of the Safety Counts program. Right now we're talking about how that program actually works. Right now we're at stage 3, which is the individual counseling session. I think I got a caller. Let me take this call and then we'll continue on. Caller, you on the air?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so glad to know you. I've known you. I watched you grow. My name is Miss McNutt, Block 10. You are a wonderful brother.
Thank you.
You are giving out the greatest message to our people. I just wanted to let you know that you're doing a wonderful job, because our people need to know about these things that's going on. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm watching you. I'm like, oh, my God. He's grown into a wonderful, smart, intelligent man. I just wanted to say that.
I truly appreciate it. And I always appreciate when people call and talk about the show. And one of the things that, every now and then I do self-disclose, I may not, because myself, I've been clean now for about 19 years. You know, I was where I was once where so many of us have been. And now it's like, what do you do to provide some type of guidance for individuals who are still struggling with the disease of addiction? So I thank you for calling in, and I thank you for all of those kind words. I truly, truly appreciate it. And people may not know, but I still need it too. So thank you for calling, and we truly appreciate that. We were talking about stage 3, which is our individual counseling session, where you go in with the behavior specialist and you talk about some of the problems that you may be encountering and what we can do to get you from point A to point B. Each time you're going to do a goal. That means, say for instance, you were not successful from the first week to the second week. We're going to look at that, and we're going to look at what went wrong. Why weren't you successful? And now we can talk about what we can do to make you more successful the next time. And all of that takes place in the individual counseling session, where they're going to go step by step by step. Remember, it's where you want to be, not where we want you to be. So however long it takes, then that's how long it takes. But we definitely encourage people to continue to process. The next thing we're going to do is at the end of every month, we have a social event. What takes place at the social event is just what it sounds like, where people who are a part of the program can come in, they can bring family members, whatever support system that they have in place, bring them in, and they sit down. We play dominoes, we play cards, may do a little stepping, we do a lot of eating, and it's just what it sounds like. In between that, we're going to do some sort of harm reduction, risk reduction activity. So, it may be a condom demonstration, it may be talking about one shot, meaning just using a needle one time. We may be talking about how to clean a needle. We may be talking, it's going to be something that deals with harm reduction. So we're going to make sure that that piece is put in there. So the social events look just like that, where you're going to get some type of risk reduction. Activities not going to take up the entire time. It may be 10, 20 minutes, depending on the interaction. It may be 30 minutes, but it's going to be something that's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. It's going to be something that's definitely needed. And the rest of it, we'll be playing dominoes. We'll be talking. We'll be playing some cards. We'll be doing a little dancing. We'll be doing a little eating. Social events need to look like that. So people who are part of the program need to make those events look like what they would like for them to look like. And it is a social event. It's part of the intervention where you get to socialize. One of the things that we found and realized for people who are actively using, most of the social activities are not so social. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most of our social activities are not so social. So this gives us an opportunity to actually interact and do some socialization and have some fun. You know, something that's different for most of us who actively use. When you actively using, it ain't a whole lot of fun. I don't know. If you think it's still fun, then you're delusional. For most of us who have used at some point in our lives, you know, the fun goes away very quickly. So it ain't even about having no fun. This way you can still have some fun. And that's the social event. It happens at the end of every month. The other thing we do is follow-up. We'll be looking for the individuals who enroll in the program. So we'll be doing follow-ups to see where you at. You know, are you really trying to meet those goals? And if you're not, where you running into those walls at, and what can we do to help you get through it? So it's not that we'll get you to this point and leave you. We're going to do some follow-ups. We'll come out and find you. You know, if you're no longer coming to the group, we'll show up where you are, and we'll find out what the problem is or what we can do to help with the problem. This is a live call-in show. If you have any questions about safety counts, give us a call here at the station. Our number here is 312-738-1060. We're talking about harm reduction and safety counts and what that program really means and why is it so important that the Southside Help Center continue to provide that service. And again, let me say, we were a part of that research project that took place in, it was 2003, I believe. We went down to New York and we helped them to construct the program. We helped them to tweak the program. In case they watching, we helped tweak the program. And once that happened, they brought about an intervention, and we did it for 5 years, 6 years, and then they did another cycle where they said we want to continue this. So there had to be some success in order for them to want to continue this for another 5 years. So we had success with this program. So we really want people to know safety counts work. It's all about individuals making good decisions about their health. It's all about individuals making good decisions about staying HIV negative. Also, another component is everybody gets HIV tests. And one of the things we want people to know is their status. Again, we've been doing HIV prevention and education from the very beginning. And why is it still so important? Early intervention. Why is it still so important? Early intervention. When people know a problem exists, they can take the necessary steps in order to stay healthy. This is the thing, for instance, cancer. People know if you catch cancer early enough, you know, a lot of times they can remove the cancer, or they can give you different medication like radiation and so forth, and it improves the quality of life. Well, the same thing happens with HIV in terms of improving quality of life. The longer you let something go untreated, and what HIV does is it ravages the body's immune system. That's the body's ability to fight. And if something is in your body and it's destroying your immune system, and here's the thing that people don't understand about the immune system. Your body is constantly fighting to keep you healthy. That means, for instance, if you get a common cold, your body's defense mechanism kicks in. For instance, if you eat some bad food, your body has a defense mechanism that kicks in order to fight off whatever poison that is, whatever cold that is, whatever the flu is. Your body fights it off. What happens is when HIV attacks the body, it starts to break down your immune system. And when it goes undetected or untreated, now your body has to fight with this, it has to fight with that, it has to fight with that. When you do early detection, or when you know if medication is necessary in order to improve the body's immune system so that it's stronger, so that it can fight off all of these other things, is so very important. A lot of times when HIV goes undetected, by the time people catch it, it has beaten up the body's immune system so bad that common colds can kill you. The simple things that your body normally can fight off, it cannot. That's why we talk about Know your status. Why is it so important that people know if they have HIV? So that they can do the right thing for themselves to improve the quality of life. Be that if they need medication, oftentimes they don't always need it. Early detection is very important so that if you don't need it right away, your system can be monitored so that you can improve the quality of life. Again, eating healthy, exercising, doing all of the things that we probably should be doing anyway. One of the things about Magic, and they always talk about this, and I've been talking about this for years, no money will cure this disease, but what Magic does and why he stays so healthy, he was an athlete prior to becoming impacted with this disease, and he always ate like he was supposed to. He was exercising like he was supposed to, and he had a relationship with a doctor, a trainer, a physician, or something of that sort, and he still does. And that's what he does that keeps him so healthy, is he does all of the things that he should do. And that's why we talk about with us, because you already know we are high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and all kind of other stuff because we don't eat right. Rarely do we exercise, and you say what you want to say. We don't eat like we're supposed to. We don't exercise like we're supposed to. It's a lot of things that we don't do that we know that we probably should, but we don't. So we have to make those changes in our lives in order to stay healthy, in order to maintain. So Magic has been doing for years all the things he should. So that's why we talk about early detection. How do you get tested? Well, this program, everybody that comes in will be tested. We need you to know your status so that you can know what you need to do for you. Otherwise, if you need to get tested, you can call us at the center, 773-445-5445, and you can come in. We go out to community events and provide HIV testing and counseling. So if you would like to get tested, just give us a call back at the agency, and we'll make sure that happens. Just a few other things, some housekeeping things that I want to cover. If you'd like to reach us, the Southside Help Center, you can go to our website. It's www.southsidehelp.org, www.southsidehelp.org. You can go on our website. It talks about all of the different programs. It'll cover safety counts and sister. It also will cover our youth programs. It'll cover our case management program and what you need to do in order to qualify for those particular programs. Over the next 11 weeks, we'll be talking about each of those programs. So next week, we're going to bring you a whole nother program. We'd like to thank Betty Smith, who was our founder. Mrs. Smith founded the agency back in 1987, and we're looking at 25 years of service. Next year is our 25th anniversary, and we're really looking forward to it. We would like to thank you for being a part of those 25 years. And now we have Miss Vanessa Smith, who is our executive director, and she's continuing those great services, and that's why we have our Safety Counts program back, and we're going to continue to do social services, prevention, intervention, harm reduction, and so forth. Again, our youth program is currently going on. If you have a young person who has not been earmarked for a program for the summer, we still got all of July, the rest of July, we got August, so please get them involved. And it's so important that we keep structure in our children's lives. We give them guidance so that they don't have so much idle time. The less idle time they have, the less they have to get into mischief or inappropriate behavior. So get your kids involved into some summer programs. This is the Southside Help Center show. We will be coming to you over the next 13 weeks, and we'll be talking about other programs like Safety Counts, like Sisters, our case management programs. We'll be talking about HIV testing. We'll be doing a lot of summer events. We'll be doing a lot of testing as the school year get ready to begin again. So it's very important that we get involved. It's very important that we stay in the community. It's very important that we keep these type of programs going so that people, when you're looking for something that you can do for you, or we're looking for something that you can do for your kid, this is what you can do, is give us a call. Our number is 773-445-5445, and just see what we have for you. Southside Help Center tries to look at a holistic approach to health care. We try to look at a holistic approach to HIV prevention and education, and we're going to continue to do this as long as we're allowed to, and the only way we can do that is through community participation and involvement. We're in the 34th Ward with Ms. Carrie Austin, and we'd like to thank all of you. So please get involved with the programs. Give us a call. If you have any questions about testing, give us a call. If you have any questions about Safety Counts, our number at the office, 773-445-5445. Specifically, you can reach me at extension 17 or 4235. If you have any questions concerning this. We have a condom distribution program. If you need condoms, call us at the agency. We have a number of different things, so we truly would like to thank you. We will be back again next week, same place, same time, We'll be back at 5 o'clock. We'd like to thank everyone. Thank Miss Shauna Mitchell. She's over there on our phones. Until we see you again, we bid you peace.